Hey guys, it's HarleyWood. Welcome back. Today we're going to do an update on my 300 Blackout build. Now, I built this several years ago, and it has taken many forms since then. I'm going to post a link in the description below to the previous video that I did on this. There's also going to be a link in the description to the parts list for this. I cannot link out due to YouTube's policies to the manufacturers that make most of these parts, so I have a spreadsheet linked down below. If you're interested in any of these parts, I have linked directly to them. And before we go any further, this video is sponsored by MSR Arms. I can't link to them directly, but it's MSR Arms. We do appreciate their partnership, so thank you for that. Without them, this video would not have been possible. You may notice the backdrop has changed there a little bit, right? It's in honor of the 300 Blackout. We got that black flag back there. That is that no quarter flag, I think is what they refer to it as. It's from Endo Apparel if you're interested. All right, and now to this guy, my 300 Blackout, finally done. Maybe. It's been a couple years in the making. It has gone through a couple different evolutions, and I'll say that it's finally in a place where I feel like I am happy with. So I have these two rifles in the back to show you the MROs on both of those. I am a huge fan of the MRO. I have 3 of them. This is the newest one. This is the HD version with the 3x magnifier. Now, I first saw this at SHOT Show 2020, and immediately I was in love with it, and I knew I had to get it. So I was able to secure this from MSR Arms. It was really hard to find. They finally got me one and couldn't be happier. A lot of guys will say that if you look through these red dot reticles and the reticle is starbursted at all or kind of grainy looking, that it's because you have an astigmatism. I used to believe that. Now that I have this, here's why I'm not so sure that's true. When I look through both of those, they have a starbursted reticle in them, all right? It's really hard to get this on camera. I'll try to roll something in so you can see it, but it is not precise. It's not really sharp. When I look through this guy, it is perfectly crisp and perfectly sharp. So I was thinking to myself, oh, I just have, and then I saw this at SHOT Show 2020, looked through it, and I was like, wait a minute, that is absolutely crystal clear. Not gonna go through absolutely everything on this, but I did wanna cover some of the highlights. Now you'll notice here the Geissele Trigger. I have been very critical of Geissele Triggers in the past. If you haven't seen my extensive reviews where I compare 4 or 5 different triggers in a single video, I'll post links in the description below to my trigger review playlist. And I've been very critical of Geissele triggers. I don't like 2-stage triggers for the most part. This is the Geissele SSP, their single stage precision. Love it. This is a much better trigger, at least for the way that I shoot, than their 2-stage triggers. And I know a lot of guys get upset when I talk about this, when I say that I don't prefer Geissele. It's just a personal preference thing. I have over 15 aftermarket triggers across my various guns. Most of them are Trigger Tech or Elfman, and I have 3 Geissele triggers. 2 of them are sitting in that cabinet up there, and the 3rd one's in here, and I do like this one. Another thing to highlight on this thing is the black multicam. Now, if you saw my series on the Joint Force SPR, I have an 18-inch 5.56, actually 223 Wild SPR from Joint Force Enterprises. The whole gun is done in multicam black, and so I sent off some of the furniture from this and got it done in multicam black also, with the Coltec suppressor wrap to match. And this one has that Law tactical folder on it. First gun that I've run it on, I have about 500 rounds behind it, and I couldn't figure out why that inner ring kept backing out on me. Well, because I didn't read the instructions. and I didn't tighten down the set screw. Since I've done that, no problems whatsoever. Other than a few of my CMMG rifles, all of my others have SLR handguards on them. The lower here is actually a Rebel Arms lower. Rebel Arms went out of business a few years ago. Come to find out though, Primary Weapon Systems was the one making these for them. So this, for all intents and purposes, is a Primary Weapon Systems lower. And then the Bootleg Inc. upper. And does anyone know where to find these port doors anymore? I got these from Rebel Arms back when I ordered this, and I cannot find these. I think they've been discontinued. And on the inside there, that CMC bolt carrier group. The safety selector, the takedown and pivot pins are V7, as well as the mag release here. And on the other side, the bolt catch is also from V7. And because I know somebody's gonna ask in the comments, yes, this is a BCM vert grip on an AR pistol, all right? And according to the ATF, you are not allowed to have a vertical grip on a pistol. But they also define what a vertical grip is. They define it as something that is perfectly 90 degrees perpendicular to the bore. And as you can see, that is not 90 degrees. The Q Trash Panda. And again, that Coltac suppressor wrap. If you end up getting one of these suppressor wraps, they have an option that gives it a little, call it a lanyard, that can secure it. I recommend you get that. I didn't, and I thought that these straps would be enough to keep the wrap from walking off, but it doesn't. It doesn't take much force, and I have yanked these things down. It is fairly easy for this to walk off the end of the gun when you're shooting. So if you buy one of these from Coltac, be sure to get that option. And MSR is actually sponsoring a giveaway for this video. Now, the Gen 1 Hex Mags were problematic, all right? There was problems with the feed lips on the top. They were splitting if you left the magazines loaded. This one here is a Gen 1. And the Gen 1s were famous for not locking up, especially on a closed bolt. So here you can see it's loaded, bolts closed. This thing does not want to lock up. This one is the Gen 2. This is a carbon fiber version, and on the Gen 2, they fixed that problem. So they sent me a couple of these to give away to you guys. These are the new carbon fiber Gen 2s. From the time this video publishes to next Sunday, August 8th at 6 p.m., we will be taking entries. All you have to do is, I'm gonna post a link in the description below to MSR Arms Instagram page. Go over to their Instagram page, follow them, come back here and post a comment saying that you followed, and that's it. We will do that drawing at 6 p.m. Eastern time on August 8th. So that's it. That is the update on my 300 Blackout for 2020. It's been a few years since I've given you an update on that gun. You've seen it rolled in from time to time, and some guys have been asking for the update, so there it is. Again, there's gonna be links in the description below to a parts list, all right? So if you're interested in anything that I showed you on this, check out that parts list in the description below. Again, big thank you to MSR Arms for sponsoring this. If you like this video, do me a favor, hit subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you know when I release new videos. Make sure you go follow MSR Arms on Instagram, and then come back here and post in the comments on the YouTube video. You'll also see this video on Facebook. Don't post it in the Facebook comments. Come back to the YouTube channel and post your comment there.